Aloha, everyone. This is Arado, and we're here to talk about the upcoming Valentine's banner. We have Matriarch, Hilda, and Golden Baum. I want to give a quick shout out to Lupinus-san for the awesome Ildon artwork we have on display. When you have the chance, please visit Lupinus-san's page. She does a lot of Saga series artwork. Thank you so much for the awesome artwork, Lupinus-san. Alright, let's start the banner rundown with Matriarch, the most talked about style in this banner. So Matriarch, first off, this one is the tankiest style of all of the Matriarch style, having Iron Wall 6, so that would be 40% damage mitigate. That's 10% more than the previous style, having High Protect Tension. This Matriarch also allows you to be Domafa ready if you don't have Romancing Saga 2 stage Wagnas, because that one has Butterfly Blaze that does AoE Confuse. For Domafa in Remembrance Battle, you need either Charm or Confuse on counter 0 so that you would be able to avoid getting paralyzed or insta-kill from Shock Rush and Stinger. So other than that, there are other options on how to tackle that battle, and you don't have to have Confuse or Charm, but it gets really hard that way. So if you want an easy route and you don't have Wagnas, then definitely consider pulling for Matriarch for to have an easier finish for Domafa. And the next point about Matriarch is, I think, the most talked about topic, which is the Paean of Heartthrob, or Doki Doki song. I'll call it Doki Doki song. It's easier for me to pronounce it. So Doki Doki song is a 12 BP skill. It debuffs all enemies with all attributes and defense down as well, small effect for 4 turns. And then it also buffs the party with all attributes, small effect, and then giving defense boost as well of small effect for 4 turns. So in a way, with the way Matriarch's ability works, you would be able to cast Doki Doki Song every 3 turns. So on those overlap, you would be able to stack 2 times of the defense down and defense boost to your party for 1 turn. So I think that would be something worthwhile to note, because having extra defenses is always good, especially in a hard battle where enemies can hit you really hard. I think a lot of people, and including myself, we are stuck with seeing Matriarch as this character who can spam Victory Song with Agility, Strength, Intelligence, or Paean of Peace with willpower and dex, that we still continue to use Matriarch in that way, and we are missing the point of having Doki Doki Song in our arsenal. So putting in that scenario in the future in JP, where, and even today in global, if we have those global exclusive events where you just a minor debuff you apply to the enemy, sometimes the following turn they would immediately do a cleanse. And so other than moral down and attack down, that you would want extra debuff applied to the enemy so that you can survive their attacks. And that's where Doki Doki Song would be able to help you really well, because one, it gives the extra defense boost and defense down that global had, and also it would debuff the enemy. And with the buff with Matriarch having really high agility, I would say like above 100, that she might be able to guarantee to use Doki Doki Song earlier in the turn to be able to take advantage of that, so that you can survive the enemy attacks better. And I think that's the value of having Matriarch be able to do that with, say, inherit like Paean of Protection or Shining Glory, for example, so that she can heal in a pinch. The condition to that is, it has to wait in the future where we have those characters implemented that can also buff, like say Muse, where she can buff intelligence and will, or Halloween Apollo with who can buff will, or Minstrel who can buff will and BP +1 to the party. So as long as there is somebody who is taking care of the buffing that the party really needs, then this matriarch can now get out of that role and be able to focus in using Doki Doki Song and actually be able to take advantage of that. So that's one thing to consider. I know it's pretty far out in the future, and by then you might not be using Matriarch anymore, just like how I am with even with the Saga collaboration Matriarch. I haven't used her in hard content. I mainly used my usual with now Sarowin and Sharaha. So that's one thing to consider as well. What is your investment with Matriarch in terms of pulling her on this banner now or waiting for her next year as an off banner? Because in JP, she became an off banner and I kept getting her. So I don't know if you're gonna wait for that or not. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Matriarch. I feel that she still has some value to give where the game is at in global and what we are gonna expect in JP. And also, personally, I would like to have Matriarch. I'm gonna do, and this time I'm gonna follow that. I'm gonna strictly follow, maybe doing 10 or 20 single pools, and that's it. I promise. I'm not gonna do 14 multis like Darius. Okay, enough about Matriarch. We move on to the next character, which is Hilda. So Hilda becomes an AoE slash and pierce because of her skill number 2. And then it also gives a guard down effect. So if in case she is farming with somebody else, that they would be able to take advantage of that and be able to farm efficiently. But you know, the really efficient way of farming is using one action and be able to clear that round fast. So yeah, I don't know whether Hilda would be able to pull that off, but definitely it's something where if you can do a 6 action, it's good enough that Hilda would be able to contribute on that. And then the other saving grace for Hilda is being a healer for short sword. So being a healer is, you know, pretty rare and something that's useful for remembrance battle. If you choose to bring Hilda for hard content, you won't be regretting that as well, because if especially if you have the ultra deluxe style, you can inherit Epe Blade and then keep on spamming that so that you can buff yourself dex, and then so you have the dex buff on start of turn, and then you have the dex buff on Epe Blade as well, so that you can unleash your sparkling kill with the highest damage possible if you need to burst. So that's how I would see how Hilda can be used both in farming and hard content. And then the other side to that is with UDX style, you can inherit her skill number 2 to be able to AoE farm better, or you know, having access to healing for UDX style, because you know UDX style has this extra BP battery by chance that you want to take advantage. And if you are tackling a single target enemy, it's better to use her alarm and then rely on that BP battery by RNG, and then have that healing on your back pocket just in case you need it. That's how I would use Hilda. I have her UDX style, so with that 10 or 20 singles, if I get Hilda first, then I would still continue with Matriarch. But if I get Matriarch first, then I would end the pull by there. I'm okay not having Hilda. And lastly, we have Golden Bomb. So Golden Bomb, unfortunately, is one of the weaker character in the banner. And with the global change, having that New Year style endurance buffing to the party when she gets hit, it doesn't really put her out there, because I would say with the Valentine style, they tried to make her as a farmer, column and having access to moral down. having one shot column attack, and then a moral down as well. So, and then healing at that. So she does a lot of stuff, but if the problem is she is so this is the better version of Golden Bomb compared to the New Year style. But New Year style, I would say, is perfect as it is, especially if you need her niche with endurance buffing. Um, I if anything, if you can survive with the previous style, I would say go for that, and then inherit the healing from this style if you ever pull for this style, because that one, it gives you guard up to everybody. It gives endurance buffing to everybody as well when she gets hit, and then with healing inherit, that she would be able to revive a party member, or if you don't need healing, that she can also inherit moral down from her other from this style back to the New Year style. So yeah, this style I feel is kind of lacking in a way. They tried to make Baum do as much as she can, but you know, she is spread too much that she couldn't focus on one thing. So that's what her problem is, I feel, of that style. So that's why I kind of rank her as the weakest among the three in the banner. So yeah, that is the rundown of the banner. I feel that it's still worth it to invest a couple pulls in this banner. Matriarch, I would say, is still worth it. With the recent Romancing Saga Minstrel song Tower in JP, I saw some JP players still use this Matriarch, especially if they play conservatively and didn't pull for the newest character. Then this one will be able to help you properly. And again, you would be able to take advantage of Doki Doki song if there is a secondary another character in the party that can buff, because right now it's only Matriarch that can spam buffing efficiently, and that's why people got stuck that why would I even bother with Doki Doki song if the fourth Matriarch with Paean of Peace or Paean of Victory already works for me. And that's where people get stuck, and it's more in the future where we get access to more buffer, that you would be able to see what the real value is for Doki Doki song. Hilda, it allows short sword remembrance battle healing, and then she is also able to do AoE farming, slash and pierce, but not the best because it's just C damage. But it gives guard down, so whoever is farming with her would be able to take advantage, and UDX style would be able to take advantage of this style as well. Golden Bomb, New Year style would be able to take advantage of this style with either healing or moral down, whichever you need. This style would be able to take advantage from previous style if you would like to do Shrine Dance or Key Eye to be able to do more BP. But yeah, this style, I would say you have to pick and choose what you want her to do, and then have her focus on that one. And then the buff with endurance buffing on hit doesn't really put her much out there with regards to where most of the support characters are at with the game. Also, for personally for me, I am still keeping my eye on my target, which is Anya. Anya is 100% a must have for me. There is nobody in JP right now, and that could change in global, who can cleanse enemy buffs with 6 BP. As you know, the usual BP we have is 9 BP with Rising Nova Plus, or Dark Wash Plus with 10 BP. So those are our options for now. And of course, we have Final Defense System or Arsenal, but you know, it's either you have that style or you suffer with the S style with lower defense. But if you need that, there's always that character to use. But definitely for me, I'm still keeping my eye on Anya. I still feel that it's coming soon. So yeah, keeping my jewels as high as possible so that I can at least give myself some kind of guarantee with Anya. All right. Thank you so much again, everyone, for listening. I'll do the reprint banner tomorrow, or if I don't have the time tomorrow, I'll just do a text review of that. But yeah, thank you so much again for listening, and see you in the next video or stream.